Hello everyone. Good afternoon. How are you all? Okay, you all are fine. Very good. Students, in last session we have studied storage of water. Okay, in this session we will study about water safe for drinking. That is our new lesson. Students, for this lesson, you have to try one thing at your home. For this, you want sugar, turmeric powder, some oil, okay, some salt. Take a glass half full of water, add a spoonful of sugar to it and stir it with a spoon. See what changes takes place. Repeat this experiment with oil and turmeric powder also, and see the changes takes place. What do you see? You might be observed this thing: sugar, salt, they dissolve completely in the water, but turmeric powder, oil do not disappear even on stirring, means they do not dissolve in the water. What does this tell us? This tells us some substances dissolve in water while some substances do not. The substance that dissolve in water spreads throughout the water. When salt dissolves in water, the water in the container is taste salty. When sugar dissolves, the water tastes sweet. Students, if someone gets loose motions, we give them a solution of salt and sugar to drink. This solution is called ORS or oral rehydration solution. Now, you will say, what is meant by solution? Solution means when a substance dissolves in water, a mixture of that substance and water is formed. This mixture is called the solution of that substance. A patient in a hospital is sometimes put on saline, that is, on a solution of salt in water. Sometimes other medicines may also be given through the saline. These are examples of useful solutions. Students, do you know these things? Seawater is salty to taste because it is nothing but a solution of salt that occurs naturally. We cannot use seawater for drinking. Water of different wells may have different tastes. Why is that so? Some substances from the ground dissolve in the water. They give a taste to the well water. But if there is nothing dissolved in water, water has no taste. You might be observed this, student. When we remove the lid of a soda water bottle, bubbles fizz out of it. When we remove it to make soda water, a gas called carbon dioxide is dissolved in water under pressure. When the lid is removed, the pressure reduces and the gas bubbles out. Again, students, you have to do this activity. Fill a pot with water. Collect the following things from your compass box: a plastic ruler, an eraser, a pencil, a sharpener, a rubber band, the compass. From your house, a steel spoon, a plastic spoon, some groundnut shells, an iron nail, a screw, a coin. From outdoors, stones, leaves, and some soil. Put these things in the water and see whether each of them sinks or floats. What do you see? What is your observation, students? The eraser, sharpener, steel spoon, nail, screw, stones, coin, the compass, and the soil sink in the water while the other things float. What does this tell us? Some things float on water while some sinks in the water. From this activity, we can learn that is, some things float on water while some things sink in it. The things that float are lighter than water. The things that sink are heavier than water. Students, one activity is given in your textbook. What is that activity? You have to take some muddy water in the glass. If you don't have that muddy water, then add some soil in the water and make the solution of muddy water. Now, allow this glass to stand still for 4 or 5 hours. After doing this, what you will see? The particles of soil sink in the water and form a layer or sediment of the roof and sediment at the bottom. But twigs and other rubbish float on the water. It takes a long time for the sediment to form. So, students, what does this tell us? This tells us particles of soil are heavier than water, but because they are very small, they take a long time to settle to the bottom of the water. Leaves, twigs, etc. are lighter than water. Now, the water appears much cleaner and transparent than it was. Students, the process of allowing heavier particles to settle to the bottom of still water is called settling. Without disturbing the sediment, pour the water above it into 2 small beakers. Even though this water appears much cleaner than before. There are still some fine particles of soil and some rubbish floating in it. Okay, now carry out the following experiments, means following activity using these two beakers. Label them 1 and 2. Means students, what activity you have to do? Whatever activity you have to do, first one, that is from the muddy water. After settling that water for 4 to 5 hours, use that clean water and make separation like glass 1 and glass 2 and label them. Now take a piece of alum and swirl it once in the water in the first glass. Students, alum means in Marathi word that is turti. Leave these two glasses undisturbed for 2 or 3 hours. What do you see? Do the particles floating in water slowly settle to the bottom, and the water in the upper part becomes transparent. The twigs and straw still keep floating on the water. What does this tell us? This tells us swirling alum in water helps the soil particles in muddy water to settle down. Now, take another glass, place a tea strainer over it and fold a piece of fine cotton cloth into 4 layers. You have to use cotton cloth. Also, you can use your handkerchief with the 4 layers. Okay. Make it moist and spread it over the strainer. Now, pour the water in the glass, thin stream on the folds of the cloth. What will you see? You will see the rubbish and soil particles remain on the cloth. The water collects in the glass. It looks transparent. What does this tell us? This tells if we strain muddy water, it helps to make it clean. This process is called filtration. Okay, means when we strain muddy water, it helps to make water clean. This process is called the filtration. Now, we will see water safe for drinking, that is potable water. Potable water means what? Water that does not endanger our health in any way when we drink it. It's called safe drinking water or potable water. Drinking water must be safe for our health. Pure water has no taste, smell, or color. If water has a color or a foul smell, one must avoid drinking it. It can make us ill. When we get muddy water during the rains, we allow it to settle before using it. If necessary, we use alum or we filter the water. Its muddiness disappears and the water looks clean and transparent. Can we say that it is now safe for drinking? Students, there are numerous kinds of microorganisms around us. They are in the soil, in water, in air, on rocks, that is, anywhere and everywhere. Even if harmful microorganisms are present in water, we are not be able to see them. Now, though the water with such microorganisms looks transparent, would it be safe for drinking? No, that water is not safe for the drinking. You may know that during the rainy season, we often hear of an outbreak of diarrhea or gastritis. At such times, we need to boil the water that has been cleaned by settling and filtration. Only then does it become safe for drinking. Boiling the water kills the microorganisms in it and prevents from the diseases. So students, in the rainy season, we should boil the water, and after boiling the water, we have to drink that water. Okay? Here, microorganisms. What is meant by microorganisms? Micro means very, very small, and organisms means a living thing. So meaning of the microorganism is a living thing that cannot be seen by the naked eye or even with a magnifying glass. So to see the microorganisms, we have to use microscope. Microscope means what? An instrument for looking at very, very small things which we cannot see with our eyes or even through a magnifying glass. Students, do you know, if we take a bite of yogurt or a drop of buttermilk on a glass slide and place the slide under a microscope, we see very tiny living things in it. They are called microorganisms. These microorganisms are useful for us. They convert milk into yogurt. But all microorganisms are not useful. Some microorganisms cause diseases when they enter our body. They are said to be harmful microorganisms. Now students, what we have learned from this lesson? Some substances dissolve in water. Some substances do not dissolve in water. Some things float on water. Some sink and settle at the bottom. In order to obtain clean water, muddy water is allowed to settle. After settling, the water is cleaned further by swirling alum in it or by filtration. Even in clean transparent water, microorganisms can be present. It is necessary to have safe water for drinking. So, water must be boiled to destroy any microorganisms in it. Always remember this thing. Even such tiny living things like microorganisms, which our eyes cannot see, have great importance in our lives. So, students, end of this lesson. Read this lesson at your home and try to understand the concepts given in this lesson. Notes will be sent to your WhatsApp group. So, see you in the next session. Bye bye.